I firmly believe that is just a speck of what our future holds if we continue to allow these pipelines to cross through our waterways, to cross under them, over them, near them.
Well, two controversial multi-state oil pipelines apparently will go ahead with the blessing of President Donald Trump, the Dakota Access and the Keystone XL. Bruce Bullock, director of the McGuire Energy Institute at SMU. So these lines were very close to completion when the Obama administration famously came along and said stop, or found reasons to say stop construction.
That's correct, and they were partisan political reasons that stopped them. If you looked at the Keystone XL, the State Department's own report showed there would be no deleterious effects to the environment, and it would create 30,000 jobs. Yet President Obama wanted to show us as a shining example of an alternative energy economy, so he stopped it.
Do we need this oil? I mean, gasoline price is about $2 a gallon here in North Texas. Historically, that's not that bad. Do we need more oil to get into the refineries?
Well, the oil's being produced, and so it's not so much a matter of whether we need it or not. It's whether it's going to get to market via pipeline or whether it's going to get to market via rail cars or possibly a pipeline to the West Coast and go to China.
Right. Rail cars, which if you're talking about North Dakota and going oil out of North Dakota and getting it to market, getting to refineries on rail cars, that has been a bit of a disaster.
No question that pipelines are a stable, more safe avenue to transport oil. The incident in Quebec a couple of years ago shows that these small towns that are along these railroad routes do have some legitimate concerns.
Now, the one that we've heard famously about in North Dakota that would run across 4 states, end up at a refinery in Illinois, and would go under a lake on an Indian reservation. And the concern is that the water might be, the drinking water might be polluted. I did not know this. What currently runs under that very same lake?
The Northern Pipeline currently runs along the exact same route as that pipeline and under the lake. There's also several more pipelines that actually run upstream from that point in that river as well. So this is really nothing new to that area.
Can the president, with the stroke of a pen, I mean, you said that President Obama's decision was politically motivated. Clearly this one is as well. Can a president with a stroke of a pen reverse and make this happen, make this not happen?
It will definitely speed it up and facilitate it, but it's not quite that simple. Undoubtedly, in the Dakota Access case, there'll be some further appeals of some court decisions that the Native tribes have already taken. In the case of the Keystone Pipeline, it's going to require TransCanada to reapply for their permits, and so there'll be some permitting procedures that they have to go through, but the administration's already said that they're likely to approve that.
And permits that were already once approved.
That's correct, and the studies have already been done behind those permits.
Right, simply a matter of refiling and getting a stamp on it.
That's correct.
Okay, thanks very much. We appreciate it.